I want to share with you something today. A story that I don't talk about very often, but I think it's time. Because if you are someone who's ever started a business or thought of starting one, you need to hear this. Well, a few years ago, I was 24 years old, full of energy, and I thought I had this brilliant business idea. I put everything into it: time, effort, money, and my whole heart. And then after 1 year, I lost $100,000. At 25, I was completely broke. No degree, no corporation job to fall back on, just a failed business and a mountain of debt. But looking back, it was one of the best things that have ever happened to me, because what I learned from that failure completely changed my life. So today I want to take you through that journey, the ups, the downs, the mistakes, and the 4 lessons that I wished I knew before 25. Back in 2019, I was living in an English homestay. It's a really interesting business model where you rent a building and then you invite the English speakers to live there, and then you recruit the Vietnamese people who want to learn English to live there with the English native speakers. You have created English environment for people to talk all day, to have the practical experience of learning English so that you can improve. So I thought, wow, this is brilliant, and I could do something like that, because there was one chain that had already scaled to more than 20 branches. Well, I was 24, hungry, energetic, and wanted to prove myself to the world, right? And I thought everything was going to be so easy. So I pitched the idea to my mentor, the one that I mentioned in my previous video. And guess what? He trusted me. So he put $10,000 and I put another 10. Within 2 months, we launched. I assured him that the business was going to make profit in 3 months. I was so wrong. It was the first time I actually ran a business, and I tried to do everything. I was teaching English, writing lessons plans, training the teachers, handling marketing and sales, hiring and managing staff, and even planning the food and accommodation. Well, at that time I thought, I got this. Just try harder and things are gonna be fine. I was dead wrong. I think I was just like most first-time entrepreneurs. We all think, no one can do this better than me. I have to control everything. I don't trust anyone, right? But the truth is, we cannot do everything. We're not good at everything. And if we do not trust and delegate, our business will collapse. And so we was. And guess what? I was collapsing. I was working 16 hours per day, every single day. I barely slept, and my health was falling apart, and I wasn't even making money yet. I mean, we started to make some profit after 3 months, like a few $100s, but then the real disaster happened. Let me take you back, okay? So I started the business in September of 2019, and guess what happened at the 1st of 2020? COVID. The entire country shut down. We were not allowed to open classes, and most of our students went back to their hometown. So no classes, no students, no revenue. But you know what didn't shut down? My expenses. I still had to pay for rent, and the teachers were staying there, so I had to pay for their food. And the bad thing was, I didn't have backup money. And that's when reality slapped me in the face. And then I realized another lesson. Financial planning is crucial. Like I said, I thought we only need 3 months of cash before we are profitable. And it was wrong. When COVID hit, I went through everything. I had to borrow money from my mom, took out bank loans, and asked my mentor for more money. Every month, I was desperately calling people to borrow money in order to cover the rent and the operational cost. I still remember there was one day that I couldn't sleep, because the next day was the rent deadline. It was $2,500 and I had no idea where to get the money. I was trapped, disappointed, and I totally lost confidence in myself. It's been almost 5 years until now, and from there I realized that if I ever want to start a business again, make a financial plan where I don't make any money for 6 to 12 months. Well, if we don't have a plan for survival, we are already. For example, you want to start a tech business and you're gonna launch an app. So don't just prepare the money for building the app only, but also back up some money for marketing, operation, and branding, legal stuff, and even back office for 6 to 12 months, because you probably will make no money after you launch the app, right? Nobody knows about your product and it has no track record. So you have to burn money to get it out there, to make people trust into your product. And from there, I also learned another lesson. Things will never go as you planned. Like I said, I was trying to do everything on my own, and when I admit to myself that I couldn't do everything, I decided to hire a team. And for a moment I thought I would train them all, everything is gonna be really good again. Wrong again. They didn't listen to me, they didn't respect me. Why? Because I had no real experience, no expertise, no management and leadership skills. And my team saw right through that. Some challenged me, some quit. And certainly, I learned something. It doesn't matter how good your idea is. If you don't have the right leadership skill, your team will fall apart. So yeah, eventually my team did fall apart. So did my business. By September of 2020, after 1 year, I lost 100,000. And I had to make a choice. Keep fighting or walk away. And for the first time, I chose to quit. I mean, before making that decision, there had been similar moments like that. That was when the COVID situation was better, and I saw the light, right? I saw the light and wanted to keep trying. But when things started to be a bit better, COVID returned, and I was tired of it. I saw no future for my business no more. I mean, I had to look at the fact that I lost $100,000 and COVID was still there, and I don't know if the situation was going to be better again. And my business, I had to admit that it was so hard to scale, because to start another branch like that, I had to put in somewhere between $20,000 to $25,000, and it's a lot of money. It was painful for me because it's like my first child, but I had to stop. I had to stop. So $100,000 there, I lost 50K. And my mentor lost 50K, and I was so embarrassed. I mean, I gave him a really beautiful picture, and then it turned out like that. But the surprising thing was, he didn't blame me for that, and he told me that he knew at the very beginning that the business was gonna fail, and he didn't invest into the business, he invested into me. He wanted me to learn the lesson. He wanted the business to fail so that I knew where I was standing. And from that, I really appreciate that. And I think I will cherish that to the rest of my life. And the lesson that I learned there was knowing when to fight and when to quit. I know that it's really hard for entrepreneurs like us to abandon our child, right? The business is our everything already. Our time, effort, even, our health there. We put everything there, hoping that we'll get something in return to help people and eventually to help us. But sometimes some business aren't worth saving, right? Sometimes we have to accept that it's time to quit, to do something else. Not quit in trying to be better, not quit in trying to build a career. It's just time to rethink and to do something else. It's time to start again. I know it's really hard. I was there myself, but when I look back, that decision was just right. It's not the decision was right, but it was made in the right time. So September 2020, I was 25 and I failed badly. And no degree, no professional background, completely lost in my career path, and I was $50,000 in debt. But when I looked at what was left of my business back then, I started smiling, because despite everything, I felt good. I had tried my best, I had failed, but I had learned a lot from it. Because from there, I built my foundation, and that foundation has shaped everything I've done in the last 5 years, leading to my achievements in business today. I mean, who starts a business and never fails, right? The real question is, what do you learn from it? And how do you apply those lessons in your next projects? Have you ever lost money on a business? And what do you learn from it? Drop a comment here so we can learn something from your stories. This is not the end. It's just the beginning.